Thank you very much. And joining me now is Craig Button, the Director of Scouting. And this is the very reason why we watch sports. You know, we get the chance to jump on that emotional roller coaster with teams, and we are truly fans of the game. The Montreal Canadiens, what a run they took us on this past week. You're watching the Tampa game. You're watching the Capitals game. Friday night, they knew that they did not have the fate of their club in their own hands. All Columbus had to do was end up winning the game, either in regulation, win it in a shootout, win it in overtime, and they move on. And that's exactly what happened. But what a wild ride for the Habs.
Well, and you talk about a wild ride, right? And the emotional highs. And this game against New York Rangers had all of that. I mean, the Rangers get out in front. So, like, Montreal Canadiens players, management, they're all happy. Yeah, let's go. And then it gets tied. Ryan Dzingel, an acquisition at the deadline by Jarmo Kekalainen, and then Panarin, the guy they held on to, right? So he scores and gets them ahead 2-1. And then when it looks like there's no chance, 6 seconds left in the game, and Pavel Buchnevich ties it. You can only imagine what Montreal Canadiens fans, players, management were all doing. They must have been cheering. That's the high of the roller coaster. And then you get to the shootout. Panarin ends it in terms of scoring the goal, and Bobrovsky shuts the door. So Jarmo Kekalainen, who I love the fact that he bet on his team, well, guess what? All his bets that he placed the dollars on, they paid off in this game in a big way. But, you know, you think about the great highs and the great lows and everything in between, that is what sport is all about.
Oh, it's fantastic. Think about Columbus even last year in the postseason. They were a shin pad away from dumping the Capitals out of the postseason. And Bobrovsky is so good now that CBJ, and I don't know how tough of an out they're going to be in the playoffs, but I'll tell you what, they'll create a little bit of concern to whomever they're facing.
Okay, so let's go back 2 years. They played Pittsburgh and took Pittsburgh in a hard series, and Pittsburgh ultimately went on to win the Stanley Cup. Last year, you're right. They were up 2-0. They hit a post, the shin pad. They could have been up 3-0. We would have never had the opportunity to watch Ovi celebrate like he did, right? And like, how much would we have missed that? We wouldn't have known, but like now that we do know, that would have been a big miss. They're a hard out. They're hard out because they're pushing. Bobrovsky's playing at a high level. You're right. And now there's a sense of relief for the team, too, that you just go about your business now. I don't think they're an easy team to play in the first round of the playoffs.
No, I don't think they are either. You're right. And I think the most difficult hurdle for them this season, without a doubt, was just getting in. And now we'll see what happens after that. As for the Montreal Canadiens, though, they really can't hang their heads. I know it's disappointing. They wanted to make the playoffs, but they had a wonderful year. They had a 23-point improvement this year, Craig.
Last year ended with, like, you could call it chaos. It was massive disappointment. The organization was in seemingly disarray. And Jeff Molson got behind Marc Bergevin. But look at this. I mean, the point improvement, the goals for, the goals against, the save percentage, everything that went with it. Marc Bergevin was on the clock. He was under the spotlight to do something. Well, he did from the draft, drafting Kotkaniemi. If you don't draft centers, you're not going to get them. The trades he made, he moved out Max Pacioretty. He gets back Thomas Tatar, who's outscored Max Pacioretty this year. Nick Suzuki, a good young player. The trade for Max Domi.
And Alex Galchenyuk. Yeah, because they didn't know where they were going to play him. They played him on the wing. They're going to play him at center. And you're right.
And keep this in mind. Marc Bergevin's first draft choice was Alex Galchenyuk. So it wasn't like he was discarding somebody else's draft pick. It was his first draft pick. Then you consider Claude Julien. What he did with this team, he changed fundamentally his coaching tenet about big, strong, keep the puck outside. He said, we're quick, we're fast, we're going to have to attack, and we're going to have to play that way. I give huge marks to Claude Julien. Carey Price, big contract, big expectations. I'll tell you what, he looked like the most valuable player in the league that he did 3 seasons ago. And then we can talk about Domi and Deneau and Tatar and Shea Weber coming back in the lineup as the captain. I think that the Montreal Canadiens, that 180-degree turn was not accidental, and they're going to go forward in a really positive manner.
You know what, it's so funny because I remember talking to you at the end of last year, and you did not like their structure whatsoever. But do you think that they're structurally sound now with what they've done up the middle in terms of their hockey club and the way that they've gone about their business? So you don't see this as being a bit of an aberration? Do you think that the Canadiens now, and you think that Max Domi will have the same production next year or be close to be as good?
I do. I absolutely do. But it's not just him. It's going to be Kotkaniemi. And you watch what Brett Kulak did, and they have a really good stable of young players. Ryan Poehling, they just signed their first-round pick from a couple years ago. They got a terrific defenseman coming in, Alexander Romanov. But it's the right players in the right spots, and now everything carries on on from there. Marc Bergevin, in 1 year, you talk about a 180-degree turn. He was the captain at the helm of the ship, and he got it turned around in a really positive manner.
Yeah, and you know what? You can tell that from Hab fans, too. They like the direction that their club is going in, even if the season did end in disappointment with no postseason.
So how about this?
What?
Ole, ole, ole.